So for people who are not here. Okay. No worries, Amber. Okay, so I've got a bit of a presentation. We've got quite a bit to get through tonight. I'll try not to keep you for too long, but like I said, there's some information that we kind of need to chat about. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? Okay, George, you look like a bit of an airplane pilot there. I like it. Good luck. Okay, so this call is going to be talking about goals, expectations, playing style, performance analysis, and also just answer any questions that you might have, and really kind of tighten things up and professionalize things as we move into a critical stage in our preseason. I was going to go on this first, but I'm going to let Evan go first and talk about the performance analysis side of things, so that he doesn't have to stick around for this whole presentation. Now, performance analysis, we kind of started it with Zoe. Zoe did a great job introducing our analysis side of things when we were video games, would record games, and she would code it based on our key performance indicators, which are here. So key performance indicators is objective benchmarks that we look at to see if we're succeeding or not. So we look back in the season and we look at how many goals we've scored, how many shots on target per game, how many successful times we played out the back, how many times we won the ball back in the opponent's half, how many goals we conceded, and how many turnovers we give away in our own half. So around those items, we track every time in each game. It gives us numbers similar to this. So this was our whole season last season, the last time we were out. And these are just two areas I've pulled: 18-yard action and goals for us. Okay, so you can see when we played Cap, first game of the season, we had 13 times in their 18-yard box, scored 2 goals, 11, 2, 9, 1. A few anomalies in there, like we only had Douglas College, were pretty clinical. We had the ball 8 times in their area and we scored 3 goals. Okay, so that's the kind of data we're extrapolating from each game. And then it gives us a kind of a mean number across all the season. So all of the last season we were out, we had the ball at an average of 11.6 times in their box. We had 28 times we were in the final third, and positive transitions where we won the ball back was 9.7 each game, and we scored 2 goals average per game. So this is kind of a good benchmark for us, because this was a really good season for us. But we want to try and go one better, obviously. Within that, we can compare some of this data to the top NSCA out there. So the top team there has 10.7 shots per game, 3.5 goals per game, and 16 goals for their top scorer. Our top scorer, Chloe, was 7. So it's really incumbent on us to try and get more goals from the forward line, because the findings within that were we dominate opponents and we force many turnovers. Our scoring is more shared, and our top scorer was the only one in our front line who really got the most goals. So our aim is to get our front line more involved this season, which is why we've worked on certain things like getting the front 4 together and more forward. Any questions on that data? So that's kind of where we got to. Basically, we record games and then we record every time a key performance indicator, so one of these 6, happens. Okay. So we're going to take it an extra level this year. We've brought Evan on board. He's got some awesome ideas. He's raring to go. and we're going to be using GPS trackers, as you guys seen them last week. And this is kind of what we're going to do with them. We're going to connect our philosophy, our playing style, with our key performance indicators, our KPIs, and get some more data. So Evan, would you mind taking it from there, bud?
Yep, for sure. So I just need to share my screen, Kev.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so what we're going for with the GPS technology is going to go kind of as follows. So basically, we have everyone set up in the GPS systeming so far. I think the only ones we're missing are Courtney and Julia. The rest of you should have received an invite via email to be able to view your profile on here. And basically, what we're going to be doing is, bar maybe a couple sessions from Kev's discretion, we're going to be tracking a gameplay data. So it's going to look something like what I'm going to show you. This is just data from the Saturday session. It was a test, so some GPS units weren't actually turned on, some accidentally turned off, so we only got 3 players, but it'll look eventually something like this. So we're going to be tracking. What's viewed here is basically it's able to track the speed of running over a calculated amount of time. So in a normal game, we would be able to divide the game up into 2 parts, first half and second half. It's only a 14 and an 11-minute chunk, but we normally have, of course, the 245s. Using this, we'll be able to track running speeds. Up here, actually, it shows the things that are tracked. So distance run, hard running, top speed, hard running efforts, work rate, and impacts. Impacts will be relatively ignored. But what Kevin's really going to be focusing on to kind of tie in with the team identity is distance run. So what you'd normally see on a game week would be, in the entire starting 11 bar Melanie would have all the data shown up here. So here we're able to compare distance run between Riss, Shay, and Kate. You can go down work rate, so on and so forth, sprint speeds, and then it'll be able to churn into a table down here for the data to be analyzed. But what you guys will be able to see is you'll be able to see your specific data from the games. So we'll use Larissa as an example. We'll be able to track week in, week out, basically everyone's data that's collected from the GPSs. So just because we only have 1 week in the bag, there's just this here. But as games will come by, the data will stack, and you'll be able to compare each week your performance in the different sections on the sidebar here. So if we go into the training, we're able to specifically see all of Larissa's best stats up at the top, and then over the course of the tracking period, we'll be able to track this kind of data. This right here, though, is what Kevin's really quite interested in, and that's the heat mapping. So using the heat mapping, we're able to track the player's total movement all over the field throughout the game. That's total heat mapping. Then you could just look at data from the first half, and that's where Larissa's run in that first 14-minute period. And then second half, of course, it'll change to see where she's run in that second period. Again, we can split up the data to be specifically viewed first half, specifically viewed second half. All those things that I mentioned before: distance, work rate, hard running. But like I said, what Kevin's really going to be focusing on is the total distance and the heat mapping. Of course, the heat mapping, it'll look different player to player. So if we hop over to, say, Shay's data, that's what Shay's heat map will look like. And then so on and so forth. If we go one more, we'll have a look at Kate's. Kate's looks like this. So each player will be able to specifically track, see if you're sticking to position or sticking to the game plan that Kev's lined up for the week. The specific KPIs that that we've set for the GPS tracking are collective distance run. So the starting 11, the total distance run in the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes of the game. The total distance run from center midfielders, as well as the heat mapping of the center midfielders and the front three. Aside from that, like I said, you guys will be able to view your specific data. We'll have team data to show. We'll be able to, like I said, track this. As I said, there's only one kind of event to show, so it doesn't look too impressive right now, but it'll eventually, we'll be able to track week in, week out the team's performance and see, you know, if we're going in the right direction, things that need to be altered, maybe tactically. But we're going to be tracking all this, and hopefully it'll be able to really help us kind of move in the direction that we're looking to go.
Great, thanks, Ev. Do you have anybody have any questions? Don't have any questions. Pretty cool, all right. So yeah, just to echo what Ev said, we're going to be tracking everybody's running first 5, last 5, because one of our team first principles is we're not giving up. We don't give up. So we want to set the tone early, and we're not going to be a team that gives up at the end. We want to go to the very end. Okay. We're going to track midfield running throughout the whole game, because that's kind of our engine room. That's where we dominate possession. That's where we dominate out of possession as well. We're also going to be tracking the forward line as a heat map. So where you guys are, because the idea is that we need you guys in scoring positions as much as possible. Okay. Alrighty. Do you not have Julia and Courtney because you don't have their emails, Ev?
That's right. Yeah.
Julia and Courtney, can you punch your emails into the chat, please? So Ev can take it out. Alrighty. I will share my screen now. Okay, great. Cool. So that's a big part of this season and beyond. And it's really going to give us some cool data week to week that we can just use as one tool, so we can make an informed decision on, you know, critical thinking and why we get success and why we also need to improve as well. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm just going to head back to the beginning of the presentation and talk about team first. So most of you should have seen this document. This was created a couple of years ago. It's our guiding principles document. It's based on our core values: commitment, community, respect, pride, and responsibility. And then it goes through things that are very important to the team, and ending on our playing identity. So this was created by you guys. Okay, we all got in a room, we threw some things on the board, and this is what we became. And it was an awesome first start. I think we need to take it apart again. I think we need to refine it, and I think it needs to be a little bit shorter so that we can have the ability to recall it rather than having to look at it all the time. We should be able to memorize it easily. Okay, but I want you to have a good look at that and just think about areas that maybe you've been really strong in, and maybe some areas that you need to get a little bit better in. And what we're going to do is this is going to be one of our tasks in your Cluelip. We're going to have a fun night taking this apart and putting it back together. So let's kick off with some key expectations. So most of you are great at this. Please get to practice 15 minutes early. It's a bit of a shame for me right now with my current schedule. I just can't make it early for practices like I used to. But I have a coaching team who are there, and they've been asked as well to stick to this. So if we haven't in the past or this season, you know, that happens, and this is a time where we kind of have to recalibrate a little bit and just get a bit better on that as a whole group. Okay, so if we can get there before practice, that'll be great. Phones. Okay, if we're in a group scenario, we're just finishing practice, or in practice, certainly not in practice, or we're just making practice, phones shouldn't be out. Okay, leave that for off the field. Okay, the field is a time for you guys to connect, you guys to learn, you guys to have fun. If you can't have your phone for not 90 minutes in one day, then that's sad, I feel. So try and have your phone away from you in practice. And when we're on group events, like going for meals at somebody's house or in team bonding activities, the phone shouldn't be out. Okay, I don't want to have to buy a big hat and we all put our phones in, because I don't want to have to manage that. But I just think that we should show a little bit of respect to each other and talk, ask your neighbor, ask your teammate some questions, get to know them a little bit more. So just have a little bit more respect around phones if we can. Social media. I know you guys are all on social media. I run away from it, if I'm honest. But I know that it's important to a lot of people. So just try and keep things in-house. Unless we're doing some sort of promo, fundraiser, unless it's specified, just keep team affairs in-house if we can. So I don't expect to have team lineups or these discussions on social media. Just have a little bit of respect when it comes to that. So committing to the Mariners mean you attend all events. So this and other events, training, games, is you committed to attending all of them. If not, let us know why. And people who know me by now, normally I'm pretty reasonable. If you've got a good enough reason that you can't make it, then obviously we work with you on that. If it's a regular occurrence, then that requires a conversation. Okay. If you can't make things, please communicate with the captains, which is Kara, and is going to be Shea as well, which I was going to announce, but I kind of announced it already. So Shea's going to join Kara as a co-captain. So congrats, Shea. You've really worked hard for that over the last few years. And yeah, just communicate with us if you cannot attend. And just embrace the opportunities to leave your comfort zone, especially new players. I know that you're in a brand new environment, but it's so important that you try and get out of a clique with the new players and that you leave your comfort zone and try and talk to some of the players that you don't know. It's really important because come the season, we really need to be together. And that goes the same for the veterans as well. You've got to make sure that we're getting players involved and everybody is connected. Any questions on that? Good. So I think moving forward, I think we're all on the same page there. Me, myself as well. Obviously, I've got to improve as well as the coaches, and we'll all do this together. So just a clear messaging with that as well. So we're looking for you to live above the line. Okay, so this graphic just explains what we're after here. So if you look above the line, they're all items, things that we should be doing. Giving everything in practice and games, encouraging others, preparing all the time, showing respect to each other, having no regrets, challenging yourself, and embracing the team first principles. Things that we want to try and avoid below the line: arriving late, negativity, not listening when we're talking, being dishonest. We have to be honest with each other. We need trust amongst the squad, demotivating others, and having an unhealthy lifestyle. Okay. So being a VIU student athlete. So to the left here is the university policies, pretty straightforward and common sense. Things like don't endanger people, don't be violent, don't harass people, don't steal, try not to get in trouble with the law, provide false information. All these things that we don't expect you to go anywhere near this kind of behavior, but obviously we talk about it because it is an important policy. And you are Mariners on and off the field, so we expect that you adhere to kind of these policies and our team first document as well. Student life, and I'm going to throw all this out to Mel and the leadership group at the end of this too to chip in. But time management is going to be really important, especially for you rookies coming in. You must plan ahead. You're a student first before you're an athlete, because you can't play without those credits and without doing well in your studies. So avoid procrastinating. There is forms of help, whether it's be with your peers or with the writing center, the university. There's forms, there's resources to help you. So if you find, don't get yourself in a position where you think it's too late or it's there's no way back for you. You know, just keep communicating with us. We don't judge. I'll be honest, I was a terrible student. So we don't judge, we want to help you. Okay. Communicate with professors regarding events that may affect classes. So don't expect that your profs are all soccer fans and they're all going to know your schedule. You really have to talk to them, tell them about provincials, nationals, your training schedule. Just keep that line of communication open. In the next few weeks, you're going to get emails from the department regarding anti-doping, regarding screening, regarding all that kind of stuff through the athlete orientation as well. You have to get that done, because sometimes it can come down to the wire where we're going for our first game and they haven't got certain data off you that you need to tick off before you play. So it's really important that you get on top of that. And then the athlete lifestyle, you know, I'm not a coach that kind of looks over you guys day and night, asking what you're doing and where you're going. I don't want to be that role. So I'm trusting that you guys are not out partying every night, that you're not eating processed, refined, terrible food every night. I'm relying on you to be adults and to make choices with the team in mind. Okay, so things like alcohol, drugs, I really expect that to be curtailed. If you have an issue, if you have a problem that you really need to talk about, that's different. And we invite them conversations, or if you want to keep it confidential, just let us know and we can show you that way. But you really have to show that lifestyle. And I know some of you had conversations with it already about guidelines. If you as a team agree on that, then I'm fine with that. Okay, but I don't watch over you like a hawk. Okay, I expect to have trust. Any questions on those? And if not, we'll get Mel to chip in. But are there any questions on those? Perfect. Mel, do you want to chip in with some of your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. Just about trying to balance school and soccer. For sure, it can be a little bit tough sometimes, but just remember that you have an entire team of girls who are going through the same thing, and a lot of them are older than you and can help you. And a lot of girls we have in the same programs and stuff like that. So if you ever need help, you can always turn to someone on the team. And usually when we're traveling on weekends, we help each other out on the bus and on the ferry about helping each other with our homework and stuff. But as much as you can, you like homework, you shouldn't be missing practice for homework unless it's like a really dire situation, just because that's just what being a student athlete is about. You have to try and balance that. And obviously, if you need help, you can talk to student advising, but you can also talk to any of us because we're all going through the same thing. So yeah.
Thanks, Mel. It's great points. Anybody have anything to add to that? All right. Playing identity. This is going to be our playing identity, ladies.
Oh, wait, I thought of something.
Yeah, go for it.
Just be aware of your grades like throughout the year, because like if you don't keep a certain, like if you're failing a class, it can affect your eligibility to play during the season, I'm pretty sure. So like you need to stay on top of your schoolwork because you can be on academic probation.
Yeah, and it's not like I get told all the way through the season. I get told kind of almost last minute. So I've had emails on the Friday before we travel saying that certain player can't play because of her grades. You know, and that is a real tough position to be in. And it makes me so frustrated, because I think that person must have been struggling all that time and not said anything, struggling in silence. It doesn't have to be that way. Like I said, we don't judge. It's a tough time. There's lots going on. We know everybody's not acing it. Okay, so you just need to talk and communicate.
I remembered one more thing too.
Sure.
At our school, typically, I know some people have some odd experiences, but profs are usually really good about granting extensions due to soccer or just mental health, anything that you're struggling with. So talking to your professor if you need to is like, you can do it because we have small class sizes a lot of the time, right? So talk to your prof, especially about missing provincials and nationals, like you won't be at school potentially, but also in general, if you realize that you're falling behind due to soccer, obviously it's a balance, but let your profs know and they can usually try to help you. The profs at the school are really good. So
Thanks, Mel. So this is our playing identity moving forward. So we want to dictate tempo, and you've heard me talk about that a lot over the last few weeks. And we dictate tempo through fast counterattacks. So we've got a lot of speed in the team, patience in possession. So recognizing when to switch the play, when we can't go forward, and intelligent pressing. So this week we'll work on a lot of that. How to press from the front, when to press high, when to drop off. This is going to be our identity. Okay. So to break that down, we need possession efficacy. So what we do with the ball. So we're always forward thinking. Okay. We don't just keep the ball for the sake of it. And we're patient with the ball. And when we win the ball, we always look to counter nice and quick. Being dominant out of possession means that we're going to try and fight for the ball straight after we lose it, which we've never really formalized as a team. So that's what we'll work on over the next little bit. So when we lose the ball, we're going to try and fight for it, get it back straight away. And that's a difference from a high press strategy. Okay. When we lose it, we get it back straight away. Pressing style, that's going to be different game to game. Does everyone see the difference there? So unit pressing, that is a strategy. So we'll play mid block, we'll play low block, or we might play high press. Any questions on that playing identity? Okay. Focus areas moving forward. Nice and easy to understand and remember. Try and make your decision on the ball in 3 seconds. Are you going to go forward by dribbling or passing? Are you going to go back, or are you going to go sideways? Okay. We want to see quick decisions, because if we're going to dominate the tempo, we have to be efficient on the ball. Okay. So we want to see it moving forward. Instant transition in everything we do now. As soon as you lose that ball, you fight for it straight back. Okay, so these are 2 areas that is going to really raise our intensity over the next little while. Logistics and planning. Okay. So we've got 5 games coming up. This Thursday and Saturday against TRU. Friday, September 3rd, down in Victoria against Trinity Western and UVic. Wednesday, September 8th against Nanam United Prem. That'll be an evening time. Currently, we're going to change our Wednesdays to fitness sessions at the grass field, 7 p.m. Nicole's going to run it with the help of Emily. I will be there generally at the end of those sessions to have a team talk. Okay, but it will be led by Nicole. Pod sessions will begin again after the Uclula. The content might change a little bit, but it's important that we get them going again. Any questions on the upcoming events? We're going to talk about Uclula in a little bit. So Wednesdays are changing to 7. Pod sessions we'll put on pause until we get back after the Uclula. We got 5 games.
What time are the games against TRU? Like our practice times?
Correct, yeah. So 7:30 Thursday, Saturday 9 a.m.
Also, a few of my friends play on TRU and they're here for like Friday as well, obviously. And they're wondering if we want to all do a event together, like go play Spike or something. Like I've talked to the team, but
Cool.
probably like at the sand courts or something. I'll talk to her more and then I'll put it in a group chat. But might be a thing. And like mix the two teams up.
Sounds good. That's a great idea.
Hey, Kev.
Hey, Ash.
I think you said and that we were all going to meet at an hour before each those games. Is that correct still?
Thanks, Ash. Yeah, thanks for a reminder. Yeah, so we'll meet an hour before those games for a comprehensive warm-up, game-like warm-up, just to get into the habit.
So that's 6:30. That's 6:30, or it's an hour before game time, or
Yeah.
so 6:30 meeting on Thursday, and then 8 o'clock on the Saturday. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
I have a question about September. So like after we get back from Ucluelet, are we considering like doing a gym session at the VIU gym? Because I know obviously we don't have Island Optimal. Are we thinking about doing that once a week or not really?
Yep, I've put a request in to have the gym area and multi-purpose room for every Monday night.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, normally around 7 o'clock. Good question. Any more questions? Great. So Ucluelet. So we've got an upcoming exciting trip. Isn't just going to be a chill out trip. We are going to get to work. So we're going to do 3 events a day. In the morning will be a light team workout. On the afternoon will be an on-field session run by myself. And then we'll have a team building, leadership, or video analysis activity in the evening. Okay. So that'll be the 3 events. Other than that, you're free to kind of do what you want to do. If you've got any ideas about anything in particular that you'd like to do, please reach out. I'm going to reach out to a fellow I know who runs a surfing company out there, see if he can get us out there. And if there's anything else you can think of, let us know. I might have some contacts through my work there. So yeah, just reach out if you really like anything out there. The topics we will work on during that week will be defending in a back 5, which we haven't done yet, set pieces, small-sided games, and position-specific activities. I will also chat with everyone as an individual, some one-to-ones, delving into your athlete portfolios and your improvements. And then we'll also have the team first discussion in one of those activity evenings as well. All right. I won't be there Monday. I got to work all day Monday, so I'll arrive Tuesday. So on Monday, I think Shay and Kara are going to take more of in replace of the afternoon session, you're going to take a beach workout session. So I will be there Tuesday, and I'll be staying the rest of the week to run the afternoon sessions in the evening. We're still building out the plan for Ucluelet. So thanks for sending me that today, Mel. I will chip away on my items on the Google Doc, and then we'll kind of put together the full finished product of the whole week and everything that we need in the next couple of days, so everybody knows what they're doing, what's going on. And the leadership group, I'm sure, will be in contact with you about logistics as well. Any more questions on Ucluelet? One thing I forgot to mention as well is the reason that we're actually there. The idea came out of the Nanami United, our Nanami United coaches within our team. I think Kara, Liv, Rissa, I might have missed a couple out there. You guys are doing a camp. So I think it'd be very cool and very important for us to all participate in the camp. So what I'm going to ask Kara to do is put together a little roster of players and myself to go every day. So it'll be a different little group every day that go and help out our coaches there. Okay, so you might only do 1 or 2 mornings in the whole thing, but I think it's important that we have a presence. Wear your VIU gear, have fun with the kids. I'm sure it'll be very rewarding. Any other items on your Clula? Any other questions?
I think tomorrow at practice, I'll like go over it a little bit more in detail, just so we know what's happening for equipment and
Yep.
food and like tank groups.
Yes, and we need to go through the fundraising, excuse me, the fundraising money as well. We can talk about that offline. Just as a heads up on fees, there's a good chance we might have to pay some fees towards some things. Like, I'm hoping the fundraising will cover most of this trip, but also we've got some substantial gear coming our way as well. So we are going to continue to fundraise. I know there's talk of a beer and Bergen as well, but it has to be led by you guys. You know, I don't have time in my day to oversee fundraising, so it really has to be on you guys to spearhead that. And I know the leadership group is doing some great work on that. If there's anybody else that wants to get involved in the fundraising, I know some people have done it as their projects, as their school projects as well. Then please let us know. But yeah, there'll be some funds, there'll be some fees for probably the gear. We might be looking at maybe it's $200 a pop each for your gear. Now that is coming in, but if we can, the more we fundraise, the more we can take off that. Okay. So just giving you a heads up on that. Okay. These are KPIs, and I think that's pretty much it from me. Gone through expectations, gone through our playing identity, and these 2 main things that we're looking for the next little while. But now is the time really that we really need to tighten things up, really challenge ourselves, but also bring the group together. One thing that's been great about this group is our team ethic, our work ethic, and our camaraderie, and we need to foster that. Like, don't mistake ourselves. It's really important. Puts points on the boards. So in your Clula, get out your comfort zone, get amongst the activities, make a fool of yourself on the evenings in the team bonding stuff. I'm sure you'll make a fool of me, so make sure that we really make the most of it. Any questions? Wow, that was easy.